Whoa!
Do we have a tale for you? A whale of a tale, some might say. Hey, Jess, you're back.
Hello. Hi.
Mm. It's been a long time
Mm,
since you've been back with us just on a regular video, but there's something we need to talk about.
Yeah, we need to talk about a couple things.
Oh, yeah, we're going to save that one for later. We're going to start off with something that happened on the live stream last night. And that is the Megalopolis trailer that got taken down and took down our stream because a certain little someone had it saved from before they banned it globally. I wonder who that
Hmm.
was.
Hmm.
But there has been some stuff about this, and we want to bring it to light because we're not letting this kind of crap throttle smaller channels or even bigger channels. It shouldn't throttle anyone. If you decided to put effort and money into this kind of distribution, and yet you want to take it back because you got caught flubbing, well, we're gonna go into a little bit of that and then give our own takes on it. So, first thing that we want to say, and this comes from Variety. So Lionsgate pulls the Megalopolis trailer offline due to made-up critic quotes. Now, this is one of the things that we found out, and Jess, you were actually so gracious to let me know of this before we went live, but I decided, screw it, we're doing it anyway.
We'll do it live.
Mm-hmm. So, according to Variety, they Lionsgate actually offered sincere apologies to the critics involved and to FFC and American Zoetrope for this inexcusable error. Now, Jess, what did you think about this? First thoughts, because some of my first thoughts were, okay, they're using critics' quotes, but maybe like juxtaposed over the wrong film. However, those were all, negative reviews over his films during the time. What did you think?
I thought they were being facetious about it. Like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like. I mean, obviously there are negative reviews about films, so it's like, okay, big deal, you know. Somebody's always not going to like it. So what's the big deal about showing a negative review to a little blurb from a negative review? But literally, I just thought, oh, they're probably being kind of funny and just saying, oh yeah, look, they're saying that this was bad, but then they're, you know. So I literally thought that it wasn't serious at first, or that it was just, whatever. They're just taking negative
Yeah, I
reviews for whatever.
I too thought that it was on purpose
Yeah.
because a lot of his films, which are now considered classics and are classics, at the time of release, they did have a whole lot of backlash, but then became not even cult classics, like mainstream classics over time when people actually
Yeah.
got to digest them.
Yeah, that's like with anything, especially with these kind of films when something first comes out and it's kind of, I guess, out of the box, so to speak, it's just people, of course, are like, "Oh my gosh, this is a bit crazy. What do we think about this? Oh, it's kind of bad." But then once you start watching it more, you're like, "Oh, actually, I see the vision behind this. It's actually quite good." So literally, it just seemed like they weren't being serious bringing up those negative quotes. Which, whatever, who cares if there's a negative review? I mean, I don't know. They're everywhere.
I kind of think that they knew what they were doing, but maybe the editor didn't do it in the correct way.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
really
that could be it. Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm thinking because these were all quotes from
Yeah.
everything that I've seen in research. These were all actual quotes, just not put over, the title card of the movie that they put in the original thing.
Wow.
So Owen Gleiberman was incorrectly cited as calling the 92 film Bram Stoker's Dracula a beautiful mess and highlighting its absurdity when he reviewed the film for EW, where he worked at the time of its release. And he goes on to say, even if you're one of those people who don't like critics, we hardly deserve to have words put in our mouths. Then again, the trivial scandal of all of this is that the whole Megalopolis trailer is built on a false narrative. Now, I I want to put a pin in that right now, and so I'll
Okay.
stop sharing real quick. I think that's what the whole intention was, is that he's had negative reviews about stuff in his past, and he was just kind of like, this is going to be my last hurrah, my last little jerk into the sun. So, all you people who have talked crap, now I'm going to throw it in your faces like you've never believed in me. And for sometimes for good reason. Let's look at the island of Dr. Moreau and other things. But I think he was just trying to like go out with this last hurrah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that it was like, hey, this is my last trial. Let's see what happens. You know, I got these negative reviews on these ones, but I'm just gonna try this one last time, and who cares? That's kind of that's what I was thinking, and that's why I thought they were being like they're kind of being like funny about using those
Yeah,
negative
but
quotes. Like,
here's
oh
where he
look,
fucked.
see, you said it was bad, but now kind of changed your mind, didn't you? Kind of thing.
Yeah, but here's where they fucked up, in my opinion. I'm totally okay with like the playful jabbing, but
Yeah,
whenever they attribute negative reviews towards something that person didn't give a negative review towards, okay, now you're misrepresenting. Now, I mean that could also be that could be used as libel in a libelous suit.
yeah,
So I understand both sides completely,
yeah.
and maybe it should have been taken down. But my biggest question about all of this, if you want me to be honest, is this went through so many censors and production agents and everything in order to be released in the first place. How did it get through all of those safety nets and actually get released globally to then be taken down globally because no one did their due diligence and did their research?
Yeah, well, and initially, what were there people who were going off like in the audience, going like, "Oh, what's this? These aren't." I mean, I can't imagine unless I don't know. It's right. It's like it just seems silly that they did that. I mean, who? I don't know. They just
I mean, there's no way you could like slide one by somebody. Like that's
yeah
absolutely impossible. It's a fucking global trailer.
yeah. Like, how did they miss that? But then I don't know. It almost seems like at first they're thinking, oh yeah, let's do this, and all of a sudden, oh well, maybe unless somebody went up to them and said, you know what, I didn't say that. You should change that. I don't want people to know that I said. Well, they can go back and look at your freaking review and see that you said that. Who cares? I don't know.
But
It just seems like people are a little offended by what I don't know, but they're like upset that they're seeing things that they've said before. I don't. I think it's silly.
I think that's one of the things that actually it comes down to, Jess, because these people actually didn't say it.
Really?
Yeah, so this comes from AP. Take that with a grain of salt. But fabricated critics quotes, and I'll just. So Lionsgate recalled its new trailer for FFC's Megalopolis Wednesday amid revelations that critics quotes were fabricated. They're recalling all of that crap, saying they're sorry because we saw. So here's another one because we already had someone who, in the other article, was saying was misrepresented from Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992. Like Pauline Kael and Ebert of other couples that did not actually appear in their reviews, the intent, it seems, was to highlight the critical divisiveness of now classics like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, leading into some of the more negative reactions to Megalopolis, the self-financed $120 million epic. Now, $120 million epic, the trailer itself looked freaking fantastic.
I thought so. Yeah.
But it attributed a quote to Cale that The Godfather was diminished by its artsiness. But Cale loved The Godfather, and this phrase was not used in her March 1972 review of the film for The New Yorker. So that's where I think the issue is coming about. She may have said
Oh.
this She may have said this about a different film, and I couldn't find that yet. But the fact that they put it over the Godfather screen, that's what I think people are so pissed about.
Oh, okay. I see.
And so that's why in my opinion, I feel like they have some credence in the uproar and the backlash from this.
Okay, well that makes sense. Like in that sense that they obviously, made up that quote that this person supposedly or this critic supposedly said. I mean, I can understand that. But just the one, and it just made it sound like they're upset about like all of the quotes that they used and not just the one, which it seems like the one is the major issue according to that.
I feel like it was almost maybe they're like clout chasing like big reviewers, big critics, and people who had said bad things about him in the past. I think what they should have done, since everyone gets bad reviews, I think if they had been truthful to the original reviews during those things, there would have been no problem. And I actually like the marketing plan, the marketing strategy that they were doing. They
Yeah,
just fucked it up.
yeah, because it really was a neat trailer, and you're like, "Whoa, this looks really actually interesting." And Adam Driver is a good actor. I mean, I really liked him in what was it, The Marriage Story, I think it was called.
Yeah,
That
Marriage
was
Story.
actually a decent movie. I never saw the the prequel, no, the sequel Star Wars films
Oh
because
yeah, save
whatever.
your freaking time.
Yeah, save your time. Just watch the original or the prequels, guys. Anyway,
Jess, he does take his shirt off, but he's wearing his pants like a freaking woman who feels bloated, and like the spandex is all the way up to here, right below his tits. So like,
no, that's like the men in the old days, or like my great grandfather who wore his pants all the way up here.
yeah,
The big
just
old.
never took it off the hanger, just wrapped it around his neck, and that's where it sat on his belly.
Wow, why did they do that to him? Poor guy.
I have no idea. Raylos are weird, but
Well,
that's
that's a
what they
fact.
decided to do.
What a
But
strange dude.
anyway, I think we could put a pin in this one and ask what y'all think at this point, because at least for me, and just you're over there, you could give me your final thoughts. At least for me, I think it was a great marketing strategy done horribly wrong and misrepresenting. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, really, the marketing was great, but then obviously they messed up here, so bad on them. But overall, I mean, it wasn't like a bad. The trailer was, I mean, it made the trailer really interesting. So even though it looked bad from using fake quotes, still it made me want to check that movie out. So even within that bad, it ended up kind of good in that sense.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to hurt it in the end because
Mhm.
now there is drama surrounded with it. Even though the original trailer itself looked like something that I definitely would want to check out.
Yeah. Although, it is kind of a small little bit of drama, so maybe it won't be that big of a deal, but who knows? We'll just have to see.
Well, let's not talk about FFC kissing someone on the set, and there was already drama
Wh-
around this.
Oh,
I don't have this
wow.
pulled up. This might be a different video, but like, yeah, I mean, this is like a couple weeks
Oh,
old as well. Yeah.
well
Apparently,
then.
apparently he's a John Lasseter, but didn't ask for permission.
Oh,
But we
well.
won't talk about that right now. I think we've got enough under our belt for this one video.
Hi,
We
Rainbow.
will see y'all soon in the next video. Say bye, Jeff.
Bye.
Bye. You're always
Bye.
this way.